Gadzooks, everybody. Good morning. I need a student volunteer from this section who will help us with the pledge. Really? All of my students? I can pick someone who's not my student. Come on up. I'll verify that, don't worry. Good morning. What's your name?
I'm Aloha.
Hi, Aloha. Your friends wanted me to make sure you know the Pledge of Allegiance before you lead us in it. Do you know the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah.
All right, let's rock and roll, everybody. Here you go, Aloha. Please lead us in the pledge. If everyone will please stand, we'll face this flag right here.
Please repeat the Pledge of Allegiance after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. That was awesome. It is so good to be here. We're going to start off with me saying, Payson Junior High School, and then I'm going to point the mic to you guys, and you're going to say, are you ready? I said, are you ready? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Ready? Payson Junior High School! Yeah! You guys just said, yeah. You're supposed to say Payson Junior High School back. You can't hear me? No. You can't hear me? No! Okay, I'll do it louder. Ready? All right, Payson Junior High School! Woo! Go Bears! Thank you, everybody. Now, before I pass this off to what's coming, you guys should know about all the activities going on this week. We have, and I will read them to you, a scavenger hunt going on around the school. If you see any pieces of the pie, of our Sources of Strength pie wheel, please take them down to the counseling office and you will be rewarded with a prize. Not to mention, we have karaoke going on every single day, and I will say I hear many of my students coming into class singing. We have some amazing singers, so please show up at karaoke. Not to mention, if I can direct your attention over to this wall, there's a giant piece of paper that says, what is your strength with our Sources of Strength wheel? You will be able to put a sticky note with your strength onto this week, every single day. And we will have a Sources of Strength trivia wheel and lots of prizes for everyone who participates. Now, we need 5 students to come up here and participate. We do have some awesome prizes for you. Can't let you know quite yet. There's a lot of people in here. I think we're up in the number of people we'd like to assemble these. All right. Now, before you come up, we will ask you, what is one source of strength that you have discovered in yourself since we've started this program this year? Okay, so you might want to think about it a second. All right, think about it for just a second. What's one source of strength that you have discovered within yourself this year? First off, I don't know if anyone noticed, but we had some fans show up today with their I'm your biggest fan with a heart. Steve likes this, so come on up. Come on up, let's get one from over here. Black shirt right there. Black hoodie. Blue shirt in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Black hoodie. You guys see the pattern I'm doing here? We're picking up on it. And black shirt with our money signs. I like it. Come on up. I feel like I have more students than I called. That's all right. We'll get prizes for you. All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us one source of strength that you have discovered within yourself since we started this program. Come on up. And don't worry, if we run out of prizes, we'll hook you up after. All right, let's hear it.
My name is Carly, and I've learned that I'm more brave than I am.
Is there an experience you want to share with us about that?
I've gotten up on stage more than
More than you used to. A round of applause. Thank you. Right around here, we have a prize for you on this side of the stage. I'm going to walk over there.
I'm Kenzie, and I've learned a lot about mental health.
Thank you. Go ahead and walk around and grab a prize. Applause. Thank you, everybody. You're really tall. Are you sure you're a freshman? Okay. Maybe. Debatable. It is debatable. You need to get out your birth certificate before we give you a prize?
I don't know.
I don't know if we have time for that. We'll check later. What's your name?
Taylor Bryant,
Taylor, what's one source of strength you've discovered within yourself since we started this program?
mentor.
You want to share why?
I have a lot of stuff that I deal with at home as well as at school, and I feel like that gives me a certain insight that not a lot of kids see. And I get some kids, not all, but there are a lot of kids that come and I can help them with stuff that might have happened with their family or difficult experiences.
Awesome. I like it. Round of applause. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just going to have a few more students in class. We'll go a little quicker. What's your name?
Sky,
Sky, and what's one source of strength you discovered in yourself?
family support.
Family support. That was a fantastic one. Thank you. What's your name?
Tyson.
Tyson, what's one source of strength you discovered within yourself?
I like making jewelry, and I discovered that it's my talent.
So the talent. I like it. Good way to de-stress, making some good jewelry, huh? Nice money. Round of applause, thank you. Speaking of money, I like that. I like that. What's your name?
Tonio,
Tonio, what's one source of strength you discovered within yourself?
gain energy to do track.
I like it. Track. Round of applause. What's your name? Sadie, what's one source of strength you discovered within yourself?
Mental health.
Mostly. Thank you. That was a fantastic one. Go to the third round of prize. Now, last thing I need to announce our speaker and the band that will be playing today. We have Ben Kerr, who will be speaking to us today. I am so excited. I know Ben has an incredible athletic background. I'm excited to hear his message. And we also have, I don't know if you can see underneath right here, we have a band that is going to be playing for us today, and I am stoked. Pool House will be playing for us today, so if we can give a round of applause for our speakers and our band, they'll come on out. Thank you, everybody.
What's up, Basic Junior? This is freaking awesome. Man, I felt like coming out here with my wristbands and headband on. Right? I asked him, like, man, you coming out here all the time? He's like, just occasionally. You guys were lucky. That was his first time coming out with that little get-up, right? You guys like it? Yeah! Oh, that was cool. Guys, I'm stoked to be here. My name is Ben Kerr. And guys, tell you what, I'm stoked. I'm excited. But I've been asked to come out here for a group called Stand for Kind, both Pool House and I. And I have the opportunity to share a little bit about my story. And then after, Pool House is going to melt your freaking faces. Yeah! Right? They're going to light you guys up a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to be able to stand up and... Are you guys ready to get a little bit rowdy a little bit later? You guys okay with that? Yeah! Are you guys okay with that? Yeah! Guys, these guys perform all around. They do tours all the time. They're one of my favorite bands in Utah. It's a lot of fun. They're going to light it up a little bit. But for Stand for Kind, we're able to travel all over and speak all over. But I tell you what they asked me to speak about took me legitimately 30 years to talk about. I was getting ready to train for the 2012 Olympics in the sport of freestyle wrestling. And I had to fundraise some money. I was going to travel all the way around the world. As a matter of fact, before I jump into this, I went and lived in Kiev, Ukraine. Raise your hand if you've heard about what's going on out there right now. One of my buddies that I got to know out there, just recently, he called me 007. I call him Bratan, which means like buddy in Russian. Just recently, I started posting on social media about him leaving his kids, his 4 kids and his wife. And he said, you know what, I'm going to stay here and fight for my country. You guys get across the border and be safe. And he said, respect and obey your mom and take care of her. So for that, I think that deserves a round of applause, right? It's people like that that decide to not just defend their country, but fight for what they believe in. Fight for their family and fight for what they know they can have, and that's freedom. So respect to those guys. Anyways, getting back to it. I had to fundraise some money, and I had some mentors come up to me. They're like, man, you got to tell your story. You got to tell your story. I'm like, oh no, not my story. Right? Because my story was something I'm about to open up to you about today. And my story is about how I was different and how I am different. But one of my mentors is here today. One of my mentors who massively impacted me and how I would be able to tell my story. Is Chris Brown in the building? Chris Brown, right there. You guys may know him and some of his kids. Give it up for Chris Brown, come on! Yeah! This Chris Brown dance is way better than the Chris Brown you guys probably know. Right? But guys, Chris Brown impacted me. And he allowed me to have a platform. He allowed me to have confidence. He allowed me to put myself out there to now tell you what I'm about to tell you. But why was it hard to tell you what I'm about to tell you? Because I didn't know what people would say. Because for a long time, this little boy, me in 1983, got willed out to my parents by the doctors. And the doctor said, you know what, this little boy is going to be raised a little bit different. He's going to live a little bit different. And my mom's like, I know he is. I love my boy, right? And my dad's like, what are you talking about? And they say, your boy is born with something called Cruzon syndrome. It's a craniofacial anomaly. He's going to look different. As a matter of fact, he's going to have a lot of surgeries and save your money. Dad and Mom. And guess what? My dad's like, well, what do you mean save my money? Well, not just for the physical surgeries that he's going to have. They're going to cost tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars. They're going to be 12 to 14 hours long. But save your money for the therapists and the psychiatrists and the counselors. But why do you think they would tell that to my parents? Why would the doctors say that? Any idea? Right there. Bowling. What's bowling in your mind?
When people will make fun of you or degrade what you do and like basically be mean to you nonstop no matter what you tell them.
Bam. I love it. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Come on. So true. But bowling's different now. I was in school before like the internet was even popular. type of thing. There was no social media. Bowling that you guys go through, you guys are way tougher than me. Because my bowling back in the day start and stopped at the walls of these buildings. Now bowling follows you out. It's forever. It like drags on the internet. And I go through that now too, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about that. But the doctors will then say, well, prepare yourself because he's going to have these type of surgeries. They're going to go into his head and his face. They're going to cut his head open. They're going to take bones from different parts of his body and manipulate how his face looks. And after this, they're going to have to wire his jaw shut. Because Crouzon syndrome, the thing about it is that the mid part of his face won't grow at the same speed. And so he's going to eat different. He's going to breathe different. He's going to have a hard time. And definitely going to have a hard time with how he looks. And so I'd come out of these surgeries, my mouth would be wired shut. Some of my favorite foods were like liquid pizza and liquid macaroni and cheese. I love mac and cheese, right? So the thing that was the toughest though coming out of this wasn't the healing. I wish it was. It was like my friend said. It was what would come after the bowling. I'm going to tell you a few experiences I had. When I was about this age, my buddy and I would just be playing in his basement. We'd be playing Nintendo, right? You guys ever heard of Nintendo? Raise your hand if you heard of Nintendo. Yeah! Ah! Yeah! Oh, I love you guys. Like, yeah, I love Nintendo. How many of you guys have played Duck Shoot? Raise your hand. Yeah! How many of you guys are like me and you think you're the best Duck Shoot shooter because you stick the freaking thing on the screen and you're like, come on. Whack, whack, boom, whack, whack, boom. Is that you? Raise your hand if that's you. I love you guys. That's me too. I'm like 10 for 10. Bring it on. So my friend's mom comes to the top of the stairs. She's like, Billy! My buddy, right? I need your help. They had a bunch of kids. And I go and we're like, no, don't go. We don't want to go to the store with her. She needed help to go to the store to load the grocery carts. She's like, but I'll incentivize you with chocolate. We're like, okay, let's go. So we get out in the car, we go to the grocery store. We load these grocery carts, 2 of them packed full of food. And as we're getting ready to check out, this is like way before drone delivery, way before automatic checkout. We're waiting in line, it's like rush hour traffic. There's like 30 people behind us. 5 o'clock in the evening. Everyone's buying their groceries. And as we're second in line, this little boy and his friend are selecting their candy bars. I grab my Twix, like my go-to, right? And as I grab my Twix and I feel like I'm the king of the world, I just sit there like this next to him. He's picking his chocolate, filling everyone, you know? And there's a gentleman in front of us, an adult, with his little boy and his little girl about my age. And as he's getting ready to pay, he looks at this boy, grabs his little boy and his little girl, and pulls him next to him. And he says, not quiet, look at this boy, look at how funny he looks. Can you believe he goes out in public? Can you believe this little boy has any friends? Hurry, come here. And as he grabbed the kids and pulled them next to him, this little boy right here, me, in elementary, grabbed the chocolate bar and stuck it under his arm and just swallows. I'll never forget, my cold sweat started going to tears. And I looked down at my shoes. And I was just praying. I'm like, if it were the shoes that he was making fun of, I would have taken them off and thrown them 5 miles away. Just so I wouldn't feel that pain. And it would be something I could take off and then all of a sudden he couldn't make fun of me anymore. But I couldn't do it. It was something I couldn't get rid of so easily. And then when I thought that was the worst, I couldn't go anywhere, right? My friend's mom was still paying for the groceries, still getting the groceries up on the table. Then he grabbed his 2 kids before he left. And he puts them behind him. And he goes like this, as if he's getting away from a monster. And he says, "But hurry, get behind me! Get behind me! I don't want you to get close to him. I don't want you to touch him. Because he's probably contagious. And I don't want you to have what he has. Let's go. Let's go." And she took his kids out to the car. This little boy sat there, broken. I'll never forget my friend's mom hurried paying for her groceries. It was like super awkward, like you could bite the air, right? We go in the car, she takes me home. I run inside my house. Off my dad's office in my house is a bathroom, and I run and I just slam the door. At this age, I tried to figure out a way as I collapsed against the wall and just started crying. I tried to figure out a way to take my face off. As an elementary kid, you shouldn't have those type of thoughts at that age, at any age. And luckily, my mom broke in the door. And before I had any smart ideas, she just held me. And she said, "Ben, tell me what happened." And I told her everything that happened. And then, like the hero that my mom is, and the good friend that my mom is, and this is a friend that you guys should have, this is the friend that you deserve to have. Think about who you surround yourself with. Think about who you call your best friends. Think about if they lift you up in the dark times. Think about if they call you to attention. Think about if they're like, "Ben, knock that off. You're better than that. Get up." And that's what my mom did. She grabbed me and she picked me up off the ground. And I was like 3'2" at that time, right? And I had a higher voice than she did. I was prepubescent for sure, right? And this little boy gets up on his feet. And my mom stands next to me. She's like, "Look yourself in the mirror." And I look at myself in the mirror, I can see like from this high up, right? Right above the camera top. She's like, "Tell me what you see." I'm like, "I don't know what I see," right? And her in a lower voice than me, she's like, "Come on, you're gonna control yourself. Everyone's gonna tell you what they think you are. Everyone's gonna say in public what they think you should be, but you're gonna be your own voice." I'm like, "I'm gonna be my own voice. I'm gonna be the voice." You're absolutely right, man. When you look at yourself in the mirror every day, what do you tell yourself? Tell yourself that you're a leader. "I'm a leader, Mom." In my prepubescent, crackling voice, I'm on my tippy toes, looking at my forehead through the mirror, right? Telling myself that I would defy the odds. My mom's like, "You're gonna defy the odds." I'm like, "What the frick does that mean, right?" She's like, "When people tell you you can't do it, you're gonna say, 'Watch me.'" You're gonna say what? "Watch me." What? Watch me. Guys, people are gonna tell you that. They're gonna tell, "You can't do this, you can't do this, you're not big enough, smart enough, good looking enough, and you definitely don't smell good enough." And you're gonna say, "Freaking watch me, baby." And then you're gonna put in the work to do what you want to do. And so from that moment on, I started telling myself that I could do different things. Even though public wouldn't tell me that, I started playing baseball. The doctors said I couldn't do contact sports. You saw how I was cut up, right? But I would do baseball even though the t-shirts wouldn't fit me and I'd have to cut them up. I would do football even though I would be, I'll tell you the story right now, about this football picture. You see that little bandage I have? It's actually a swap photo. It's on my left arm. Why is that important? I still have scars right here. It's a PIP line. They put it in my left arm because when I'm in the hospital, I'm in pain, and they put the medicine in my left arm to get to my heart the quickest, to pump it to the rest of my body. No joke, my mom comes in the middle of the football season. I'm tied up in my hospital bed, tied up to this tube, hooked up to this big metal pole. My mom's like, "Let's go." The doctors had just left. I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? She's like, let's get out of here. I'm like, Mom, you're crazy. I kind of like this. What's going on? And she's like, get out of the bed. I'll like step out of the bed and like I'm half naked underneath, you know. I'm like, Mom, what do you want me to do? Tied up to this pole. She's like, undo the tube. I'm like, I don't know how. She's like, come here. She grabs the tube, undoes it. I'm like, free. She's like, sit in the wheelchair. I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? I can walk. I start walking. She's like, sit in the wheelchair. I'm like, okay. When your mom has a lower voice than you don't freaking argue. I sit in the wheelchair. We go like 0 to 60 down the hallway. I'm like, ah! Right? I swear there's fire behind us. We pass the doctors, pass the nurses. They don't see us. She gets me to the car, opens the door. My football pads are sitting there. She says, Ben, today's football picture day, and you're not missing it. Let's go. I get to practice football pictures. Feel like a champ. I'm part of the team. Even though I don't play, I'm part of the team. My mom gets me back in the car, back in the hospital bed. The doctors never found out. They came back in, they're like, well, how was your day today? I was like, it was awesome. Woo! Right? These are the type of friends you need. Not the friends that like do medical stuff when they're way, like when they don't know that stuff. And don't run away from doctors. That's not the message. The message is to be around people that raise you up. When you're feeling down, when you're feeling knocked out, when you feel like I can't do this anymore, you get the people that say, oh yeah, you're still part of the team, let's go. Guys, I started believing in myself. I started hanging out with the people that when I fell down, they lifted me up. Everyone is going through something that you guys have no idea of. Whether it's family at home, the divorce at home, the drugs, the alcohol, the abuse. You never know. So love anyway. Those are the type of people that literally not just kept me here, but raised me up. So I started doing stuff. I started doing the contact sports, right? And I started putting myself out there in sports like wrestling. Where people on the side of the mat would be like looking at this kid. Hey, he looks different. What can he do? Oh man, I bet he stinks. Oh yeah? Watch me. When my coaches would tell me to do 20 push-ups, that was a minimum. I knew at the ceremonies for the awards, guess how many people were on the top of the podium getting the gold medal? There was one. So if my coach told me to do 20 push-ups, you better believe I was a minimum. I was doing the 26. I was doing the 30. I was watching the room. I'm the last one up. Because I also knew it wasn't just belief, but it took work. Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to put in the work, not just to say, oh, watch me, but that actually being a fact? Oh yeah, watch me. I'm willing to do the work. So I started believing that I could do stuff. I started believing that I could put myself out there. Even though my high school never had a 3-time state champion, I said, watch me. Led the high school the first-time state champion. Who has ever heard of a newspaper before? Raise your hand. A lot of people. Can you guys believe people for a job, your age, used to get paid to throw this at people's houses?
Sounds like one heck of a job.
That's my man! Sometimes you would hit pedestrians.
Heck yeah!
And you get extra points. My man, we're going to start a newspaper business. We're going to bring that back. And then start talking about this kid who in the grocery stores, remember how negative it used to be? Now, it was, wait a minute, this care kid, he led this team to a state title. What the heck? What's going on? Oh yeah? Watch me. Right? In the world, in times, there's going to be moments where you're going to say, watch me. You're going to say, what? Watch me! What? Watch me! You're going to be able to say, yeah, watch me, baby, and then do it, put in the work. But listen, it's too little, it's too neighborhood, it's too many to talk about state. Let's go nationwide, baby. Yeah, let's go big time. Set your goals super high, and then go and do the work to achieve it. Surround yourself with the best people to allow you to do it. I remember though, in the middle of one of my height of my career, the doctors came and said, Ben, dude, we can't hold this back any longer. You gotta have surgery, dude. It's affecting the way you eat. I would go into the cafeteria just like this. I'd bite into a sandwich, and the sandwich wouldn't move. It would just indent. I could put, at your age, I could put 2 fingers in my mouth, bite down, and not touch my fingers. I had that massive of an underbite. It affected the way I would breathe. I remember wrestling being like, I have to breathe out of my mouth all the time. Nose breathing, yeah, right. I'm good at that. But things happen for a reason. Here's my beautiful ninja mom. This is the before and after. I will never forget dating this girl. I was a little bit older than me. And I thought she was the hottest chick in the world. Oh, let me go back to this. And I went, my friend's mom comes up to me after. And she's like, oh my, and she sees me right after my surgery, right? She's like, oh my gosh, babe, you're so cute. And she's like, you look like Leonardo DiCaprio. Who knows who that is? Raise my hand, raise your hand. Titanic, like I felt like I was like this, right? I'm like, Leonardo DiCaprio, yes, right? Never let go, right? And I remember looking at her, and she like got a little bit close. She's like, "You're so cute." She just like keeps hugging me. I'm like, listen, Stacy's mom. Back off. I'm like, your daughter's got it going on, but listen, lady, right? And it was so interesting to see these people come up to me and say, "You look like Leonardo DiCaprio," but way before these surgeries even happened, I knew. The confidence was at a level that I didn't really need the physical surgeries. Because every day I told myself who I was. And there's a difference, my friends, between treating yourself right and having confidence and then being an arrogant jerk. You know what I'm saying? There's a massive difference. Oprah Winfrey, raise your hand if you've heard of her. Okay, she was in an interview one time. And she says, you know what? I had someone tell me that I was full of myself one time. And I sat there, contemplated what they meant by that, and said, would you like me to be the opposite? If you're empty on yourself, if your gas tank of self-confidence is empty, step up. Set new standards in life. And don't think that talking positively of yourself is arrogant. It's absolutely necessary. Some people call it, oh, it's selfish, it's selfish, it's selfish. You can't do that. I say it's self-mastery. You know who I'm talking about. The sincere, genuine individuals who show up in your life. There's a powerhouse in the room. I started to understand a little bit of a glimpse of that. Anybody read this for me? Right here. Go ahead.
If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
My man. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What do you think? What does that mean to you? Anybody? Right here, right here. I like that hat, brother.
If you're not battling with yourself, and if you're confident in yourself, then you're gonna be confident enough that everyone else that tries to hurt you won't be able to.
Ah! When you look at yourself and you know you're your best friend, how many of you guys are like me and think you're like the funniest person in the world when nobody else is around, you're laughing at your own jokes? My people right here, right? My wife thinks I'm the craziest person. DJ Khaled, raise your hand if you know DJ Khaled, raise your hand. DJ Khaled's in an interview. And I tell this story because a lot of people think, I'm not going to do the extra, I'm not going to say I'm enough, I'm not going to say I'm the voice because people will think I'm crazy. I'm going to stay in my box and just like not stick out. DJ Khaled takes over the interview. And he's sitting there at his beach house. He's like, interviewer, let me tell you what to ask me next. And the interviewer's like, okay, what do I ask you next? He says, ask me if I'm crazy. And the interviewer says, hey, DJ Khaled, are you crazy? He says, absolutely I'm crazy. He was not afraid to stick out and stand out and be him. Be you 1.0, not somebody else 2.0. Guys, I was able to go through transfer Utah Valley University, attract an incredible girl. She's an amazing, amazing mom. And go out and wrestle in front of 20,000 people. And have interviews go out throughout the internet. And have comments be disabled because of how the interviews were. Or how the comments were on YouTube, and one of them was this. They went out to almost 500,000 people. Go check it out, it's on YouTube. You won't see the comments though, and this is why. There's one boy from across the country would say this, hey Ben, I don't know who you are, and I don't even care, I don't know why they put this camera in front of your face. You're one of the ugliest people I've ever seen. Go back to the hole from which you came from. This is despicable, I can't even believe I'm still watching. You guys in life have the opportunity to respond and be a victor or a victim. I chose to respond like a victor because I knew who I was. You didn't have to tell me who I was, and I said this. Hey, buddy, I don't know who you are. Right below his comment is what I said. I don't know who you are. You're right, but I can't wait to meet you. Because when we meet, we're going to embrace. I'm going to give you a hug. Until that time, choose to be a force for good. A good brother, a good person in your community. Until that time, God bless. 5 years later, he reached out to me on Facebook and said, Ben, I've been looking for you everywhere. They disabled the comments. I want to tell you, thank you for your response. It changed my life. I was in a dark spot and you came back with kindness. You have no idea what I was going through. It was bad. I've chosen to step up. Thank you. God bless. Hope to see you soon. Guys, you never know what happens in your life though. And sometimes when you come and you rise above it, you think that your lives and trials are done. I thought Curzon syndrome, this is it. Come on. And then we tried to have kids. And in the last couple minutes, I'm going to share with you guys some stories that hit closer to home with me. This is going to hit close to home with your parents, with your teachers, with your principals and counselors here too. They may be going through this, and you have no idea. So treat them with kindness too. I'll never forget trying to have kids, thinking it was just like, hey, I'm 1 of 7, my wife's 1 of 9. It's going to be easy. Going to the doctors and them telling us, we don't know what's going on. Spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to have our first kid. 2 miscarriages. My wife called me on the phone when I'm on the road saying, you know that baby boy that was growing last week? He's not breathing anymore. That happened again to a girl, and then us having 2 failed adoptions. Me paying a lot of money out, and them not being successful. And then getting a call one day and say, yo, there's a boy that was just born. You want to go pick him up and be your dad? And I said, heck yeah, baby! And so we go pick up a little boy. His name's Liam. And when we walk out from signing papers with the birth mom, the adoption director's at the end of the hallway crying. She puts her phone down. She's like, Ben and Lacole. Lacole is my wife's name. I don't know how to tell you this, but would you like to adopt kids that are like twins? I'm like, what? There's a girl being born in a couple days, 20 minutes away from a different mom. do you want to adopt her too? And we said, yeah, baby. And my family had no clue, so we went home and we surprised them and it went viral. Over 65 million views. And you think it would be all cool and dandy, right? And it has been. But you always get your people that come out with all the good stuff. What's going on with this guy's head? I have the chance to respond. At the moment, I'm just trying to figure out what species this is. This isn't the grocery store anymore. There's no 30 people there. There's millions of people there. How do you respond? Right here, I wonder what happened to the sloth in the Goonies. Who's ever in the Goonies? Raise your hand. I love that movie. Right? I wish I had that Superman shirt. And then we have the chance to respond. And then another guy, my buddy Joe. Man, does this guy look even human? I may be out of line, but what the fudge-a-nickel? And then I have the opportunity to respond, baby. How do you feel about yourself to come back? If you don't feel so good about yourself, your comeback will probably be hateful. But I know who I am. I'm bulletproof. So I come back and I say this. Because of lack of time, I'm going to sum it up. I basically say, you know what, I couldn't be happier for both Creutzfeldt syndrome and having kids. But there's no offense. Oftentimes, people don't want to let someone defy the odds. They want to keep you down because it's something they're probably going through. God bless those people. I have the opportunity to thank him. And then he comes back because of how I react. It wasn't an eye for an eye. It wasn't a tooth for the tooth. It was an eye for a hug. God bless you, brother. I don't know what you're going through. But because of how I chose to respond, our relationship ends up asking him to come to my house for food and meeting my kids. I wanted to punch him. I was a trained freaking warrior at that time. But let me tell you, what would that have solved? I wanted to punch him. The natural reaction, I appreciate you bring that up because the natural reaction is that you want to do that. But be unnatural, be abnormal is what I'm here to tell you to do. Be the absolute freaking amazing individual. And in closing, guys, there's not 2 kids there, there's 3. Because Liam's mom called us 9 months later and says, you know what? Liam has a little brother, you want to adopt him too? We said, heck to the freaking yeah, baby. My family had no clue. That's on YouTube as well, go watch it. In closing, guys. In closing, I want to tell you one last story. This story I want to tell you happened with Joe, my buddy. When Joe, my buddy, made that comment, it was a lady. And she posted not far below Joe. And it was a little sloth of the Goonies in a baby form on a little tricycle. And she said, if I were your wife, I wouldn't have your kids either because they would look like this. And guys, I want to tell you, I didn't have the chance to respond back to her with kindness because she erased her comment. You never know what people are going through, so be kind anyway. She responded to me about a week later. I saw the comment. But she erased it so quickly, she came back and she said this. Ben, I erased my comment. Hopefully you didn't see it. But I want to tell you that I came out with anger because just a few days before I saw your video, I had a 2.5-year-old boy that died from a heart defect. And his name was also Liam. When you were gaining on Liam, I was losing on Liam. Hopefully this finds you well. Thanks for not coming back hard at me. Guys, you never know what someone's going through. Be kind to them. And more importantly, be kind to you. Because you're able to give kindness when you know who you are. Guys, I'm going to invite the band to come out. They're going to start tuning up their instruments. Pool House is going to light it up. But in closing, I'm going to invite you guys to repeat after me what I tell myself literally on the daily. To be able to get up in front of you guys. You guys don't think I get nervous before I come up here? I absolutely do. I need like man diapers sometimes. But I tell you what, guys, if I tell you what I tell myself in the mirror every morning, will you guys repeat it after me? Is that cool? Is that cool? Is that cool, Mason? Is that cool, Mason? Oh, we're gonna light it up. Hey, Mason, repeat after me. Now I am the voice. Now I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I am a force for good. I am a leader. Defy the odds. Set a new standard. Step up. Step up. Step up. That's not bad, baby. But I'm gonna invite you guys to prep for the band, get a little bit rowdy, and get up on your feet. Patient junior high, everybody up on your feet, let's go. I'm gonna give you guys one more shot. One more shot to repeat after me. One more shot to light it up. One more shot to cause an earthquake, baby. Let's go, patient. Now I'm the voice. Step up and be a pillar of light for those who need you, and to be a pillar of strength for yourself. Guys, thanks for the time, and put your hands together, and make some noise for my friends Pool House! Let's go!
How you guys feeling today? You can be louder than that. How we feeling? That was better.
What about you? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I want to tell you guys a story. First of all, my name's Jake. We're a band. We're called Pool House. So when I was just a little bit older than you guys, I had to leave my school, go to a brand new school. Left all my friends behind. I was really scared about it, really sad. I get to lunch. I went through the whole first half of the day without really talking to anybody. No one really came to talk to me either. I get to lunchtime and I'm sitting all by myself. And these three dudes up here came to sit by me. And at first I didn't think we were gonna get along. I actually thought they were kind of weird. But we got to talking and I quickly found out they were some of the coolest people I ever met. Yeah. And if they didn't show me that small act of kindness that day, just sitting with me at lunch, we never would have became friends or became a band or wrote any of these songs and got to come play them for you guys. So please be kind to everybody. Not only do not know how positively something as small as just sitting with them at lunch can affect them, you never know what you might miss out on.
What's up, guys? I just want to tell you my side of Jake's story real quick. My name's Lucas. I'm getting to that, don't worry. So, I was new to this school too, and it was my senior year, so I was worried that everyone would already have their cliques. And first day of school, this guy, Johnny over here, walks up to me. Yeah, let's get a round of applause for Johnny right now. So, Johnny comes up to me, out of nowhere, he just points at me and goes, "Hey, I know you. You're the Lucas man." And I was just thinking, huh? Who is this guy? How does he know me? Why is he calling me a man? And it was really weird, but it let me know that, like, okay, I can talk to this guy. Obviously this guy is weird, so I don't have to really worry about him, like, he's not gonna bully me for being really, like, energetic and crazy, kind of like what happened to me in the past. And over time, we just had a lot of weird interactions like that, just kind of, I don't know, just like being friendly in our own way. And over time, it led to us working together, which led to us starting a band with these guys, and here we are. So really, my message is the same as Jake's. You never know what you might miss out on, so make kindness your default.
So Johnny started the band. Go Johnny!
This is gonna be our last song. I want everyone standing up for this one. I want to see you guys moving. With who else? This song's called Blue. You get invited, quite some time. Don't tell me that you like it. You